Hello and welcome back. I am Arumba. Thank you for joining me. Let's play some more A Rocket per Patron in Factorio, actually. We're at 1,048 patrons. Yet to launch rockets. I'm going to launch rockets eventually. Right now, I'm focusing on getting ready to, like, transition into the later stages of the game, the mega base type stages. We're paving the world. We've got lots of concrete now. You'll see I actually stripped between episodes all of the initial processing in favor of cleaning it up and getting ready to go over to something like this. We have a rudimentary 18 flotation cell Mark II setup, but very excitingly, and I don't know that I'm actually going to spend a huge amount of time on it in this episode because I want to kind of maybe secure some more outposts, get the train station going a little bit better. I finally figured out how to use these crafting combinators, which I had assumed I could not use in this pack because I couldn't make them work. Just didn't know how to do it. But then I figured it out. So let me show you how it works. So we grab a crafting combinator off the ground, and we put it next to a machine, right? And notice how the machine immediately clears its recipe. And here's where I was making the mistake before. So if we also create a constant combinator, we can use to create a signal. Let's create a signal. Let's wire these two pieces together. And really, I should probably, at this point, let's get some wires kind of locked down here, because we're going to be using wires more often, and I'm tired of looking for them in my inventory. Wire, green wire, red wire. Where in the hell is it? Am I going crazy? Green. It's in the intermediates category. Intermediates. No. No, it's not. In the Bob's intermediates. There we go. Red wire. Green wire. Send those down there. Okay, so, anyway, we're going to send a crafting... Okay, here's the way I used to think that this thing would work, is that you would take the output and you would say, okay, I want you to go to, say, make, for example, this recipe here, which is right here. I want you to make sapphirite chunks. And it wouldn't work. And I'd just say, oh, this mod's stupid. It's stupid. It doesn't work. But I don't understand why, but for some reason, you can't use the actual recipe. You've got to use this thing in here, which is some unlocalized, unknown key virtual signal name, blah, 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 blah thing. And if you find it in here, unknown key virtual signal name dot angels or one dash chunk, all of a sudden, it works. And so you can use constant combinators to virtually control and alter the recipe for all Angels Ores things on Angels Ores and Angels Machine entities. So basically what that means is we can create dynamic smelting setups or dynamic refining setups where, for example, I could use circuitry to say if sapphirite ore is more than 4x as high as the next highest material, then switch all machines to that type of processing. I could then also dynamically control the filters on these fast loaders. I think. Maybe not. I might not be able to do it with loaders. I might have to do it with, yeah, I can't wire up the loaders. Damn. That would have been too nice. But I can wire up inserters, and I could wire up some filter inserters and have the filter inserters control what they put out based on circuit network conditions and have them load up belts. Those belts would then feed resources down the chain. And we could turn this entire thing, instead of having like 3 crushers per resource type, we could have every single crusher switch over to the resource that's in most supply, crush the crap out of it, put it into storage, and then once it's done with that, move on to another material and crush the crap out of that. Basically, what it will allow me to do, if I take the time to figure out how to make it all work, is maximize the uptime and infrastructure of the factory. We can make it so that every single machine that's in the setup is running and working, which is a really cool concept to me and something I definitely want to do. For now, though, let's go and just check out some of the outposts, look at the extremities a little bit, and that's definitely the kind of thing I'm going to probably tinker with between episodes. It's going to take a lot of effort. Wow, I can't believe I got through there. So that would be a power line right there. Yep, that's cool. We've gone down to a 1-1 train setup. This train's just hanging out because it's set to only come back and leave when the inventory is full. This is finally empty. Good. Let's see. Turn that off. You can be active all the time. Wood, I think, is or should be. I did research the actual vanilla auto trash, so we're going to put auto trash in there. There's certain things that I always only want to have a certain supply of, and that is what we're going to use the vanilla auto trash function for. Because there's only a limited number of the Chumiko auto trash version, and I vastly prefer the Chumiko version, but it is what it is. So just sort of drive up here and see how the peripheral of the base is looking. We lost a light. The light got murdered. I needed to update my defense layout, so we've got laser wall. You'll notice that it now has 2 electrical poles. Some of the stupid biters keep coming in and they have explosive shells or whatever, and they destroy the electrical pole, which cuts the power lines, and then everything dies, so that's no fun. So we need to have a backup power line. Shoot. So that's the purpose of that, is an extra electrical line at the very edge to kind of assure that the power continues to flow. A little bit of redundancy seems like a prudent choice, I think. I could just make this this whole blueprint bigger. We would have to do it fewer times. Okay, so what do we want to work on? There's a few things. Number one, I wanted to do blue science, and I ran into a bit of a hiccup with that. So by blue science I mean the production science packs. To do that, we need lithium-ion batteries and silicon nitride. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You see how they're exploding and then they blow up the damn electrical pole? Stupid bastards. They also blew up my light. What if we put the light, like, way behind it? Yeah, I'm gonna update the blueprint. You know, the lights are really not as necessary, but... We've got lights on the front line can get removed because they're just going to get killed. In fact, I think I'm even going to remove these poles from the front line because they're just likely to get exploded. We should probably leave space. You know, let's just redo the whole damn thing. Yeah, it's just not going to work. So I'm going to put this down here. We're going to grab a laser if I have any. If I have any actual lasers. And we're going to space them every other. We're going to go, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay, so there's an odd amount. I like that. And then that's max distance. Let's get rid of this. And then instead of going max distance, we'll go slightly less than max distance so that it will maintain the spacing. Or does everything that I just said not make any sense at all? Yeah, kinda does. Maybe we could go like that, I suppose. I don't want these explosive blasts to do extra damage to the laser turrets. I'd say that looks pretty good. Might as well go with a longer or thicker wall. Okay, now that we have our thing, let's grab a blueprint of it and see what makes sense. So, it'd be cool if while hovering over the blueprints in here would actually show the actual power range, see if it's connected or not, but, I think we can cut, like, the top 3. We'll go 1, 2, 3 above, and then 1, 2, 3 below. And we've got a light, only 1 light so far. You can't actually, like, build lights into the blueprint, can you? No, that would be way too convenient. Also can't zoom in on the blueprint, because that would also be way too convenient. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. And we're going to save that as our new laser wall. We're going to strip that whole thing. Strip those trees. Going to try to update this area up here with a new version of the laser wall. Okay, so the construction range looks good. Let's put another line there. Have any landfill on me? No. Well, they should eventually continue to build that. And strip this whole defensive wall for now. You should really have your own power supply since you're a roboport. Let's connect you westward to the to that thing. Same thing with the other roboport. Okay. Something else is being destroyed, and it's not related to what I'm doing up here, so that's a good sign. You should also probably have some repair packs up here. This line of wall doesn't belong here. I could try to put some actual, whatchamacallums, some guns with some requester chests up here as part of the defenses. And we could also head toward the layout that uses, that's rather unfortunate, that uses the flame turrets as a trigger to avoid the, oops, why do we make that? That's not what I meant to make. I only want to have, say, 200 walls on me at one point. Walls should really stack to a higher number, I think. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that thing as well. The regular warehouse. I don't think I need the filter inserters, the stack inserters on me right now. Regular inserters can go away. Let's make 50 more of these. I guess I should have kept those since I'm making more of these. I want to request 100 of these since I've got 2 spots reserved for them. Heck, I even think stack inserters, or like regular inserters, should stack to a higher number as well. Or maybe I'm just lazy and I want too big of an inventory. That's entirely possible. Alright, so if they're not getting stuff destroyed here, where's it getting destroyed? On the left wall. Great. Okay, so I guess we're off to the left wall now. And I didn't solve that power line issue here, did I? Need to put a power line right here. Are we still part of the primary network? Yes, we are. Good. Okay. So that should work out just fine then. We've got some stuff. They'll eventually replace all that stuff. There is some natural gas here. The car is empty, so I can just grab it whenever I need it. Great. It's very convenient. Okay, so yeah, my goal right now is to try to make smart outposts that will shut off, ideally. I did consolidate this thing down since it's now an infinite deposit. These bottleneck indicators seem wrong to me. I mean, these machines are clearly running, but they're still yellow. I don't really understand why. It just seems to be a thing for some reason that happens. I don't know. They're not like stuttering. They're not blocked on the output. They're all running. So I don't know what's going on with bottleneck there, but they will shut down when there's 400,000 sapphire in that deposit. I want the large warehouse for the sake of organizing the, I don't think we really actually need any of this snipery type stuff around here. It's not costing me anything to have it, but... honestly, I might... For the sake of pollution, let's just say that I only want to have A cargo wagon can contain right now, like... what can they hold? I forget. Cargo wagon Mark II. Let's make an armored cargo wagon just to see what it can hold. This thing holds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 10. 6 times 10 times 200 each, that's 12,000 per wagon. The armored cargo wagon, if I had to guess, is probably going to hold less. Yes, it holds less. It's got a bigger grid, and most likely better armor. That would make sense, considering it's armored. It's got 3,000 health. It's got tons of physical resistance, 50% plus 25 armor. So my point, though, is that perhaps we should restrict this to like a few cargo wagons worth of load. We could put a wire condition here. Just to try to reduce some of this stuff. We could say if anything is less than, I don't know, say 5 cargo wagons, 60k. So we still need the large thing here to give maximum unloading, but we don't necessarily need to have these machines running non-stop, generating pollution until we're up to 400k. Then again, the more I think about it, these are infinite deposits now. So eventually this is going to stop. No, this is a bad idea. We want to just fill it up to 600 to 400,000, I think. And actually, we might actually just want to let it run infinitely. No, that would be too much. This, on the other hand, is another deposit that we should tap, I think. I mean, we're here. Why not? Let's create a blueprint that I will start to use officially. So, do we want to build it in such a way? Is there really no infinite bobonium in here? Ah, there's a tiny, tiny bit. Do we want to build it in such a way that it's ready for the infinite, or that it's just convenient for non-infinite? And by convenient for non-infinite, I'm talking about the layout where I do... Seriously, I don't have enough of these? Damn. Where we do something like this. It's not going to perfectly cover it, but it's going to cover it really well. Yeah, I think we just go for this one. And then we go for these, every one. I'm gonna have to figure out how to power this thing this way, though. There's no room for underground. I want it to be perfectly saturated. I might have to put a single row in between every now and then. Damn biters. Hate that sound effect. Miserable, annoying sound effect. Okay, so that powers all of those. And if I duplicated the whole thing... it'll connect to the next one over. Alright, let's see how the power looks. I didn't leave space. Okay, I messed it up. Good news is that once I get this thing right, I won't have to mess with it anymore. Okay, the thing is, you can go too deep on power, so... if I do that... And then we could put a light, because lights look nice. We could put a light here and here. And then... like, I don't need this extra one here, for example. I think what I can do is actually... go all the way down there. Okay, so you were going to be here. I get the impression something important might be actually dying, but I don't really care or know for sure. Okay, so by doing it this way, the power is not going to connect vertically, but it does connect horizontally. Damn freaking fighters. Is that good enough? I think if I just plant it, then I'd have to manually control the edges to make sure that the edges line up and actually provide power. So rather than go 4 wide, let's just go 3 wide and then give them that connection so that they do always line up and connect. So, all that being said then, again, I could make this more efficient by going with this underground belt layout because it shrinks it in, right? It goes closer towards the center, which covers more saturation once we get down to the infinite Javolite, or the infinite deposits. However, this will also just be easier to plant and forget for future outposts, which long-term I think is going to be the way to go. So, let's take our blueprint, and we want it to be then, not you and you. You're supposed to have light. Power goes here. The blueprint then is from here to here. Down by 3 plus the next thing of lights. So we got power line light, power line light, power line light, and a whole bunch of those things. Okay, so we got a blueprint for now. Let's strip the whole thing and try planting it to make sure that it's right. God, shut up! What are you attacking now? It's like one biter over here blowing all my stuff up. Is that what's happening? Of course, I probably have no... I do have laser turrets. You know what? These are all laser turrets, for crying out loud. I think what it comes down to, I just need to just have the entire perimeter covered in roboports so that they can bring out, gosh darn, repair packs and just take care of it. Or I could create like a little chest with some robobots, but if I don't make the entire area covered, then eventually they're going to run out of supplies and they're going to get stuff blown up and I'm going to get annoyed and, you know, it's just going to drive me crazy like it always does. So let's just connect it. It's just going to be the most ginormous robotic network I've ever created. We're going to put this thing right on the edge of where it needs to be. We're going to make sure it has power. We're going to put another one over here. Okay, I'm going to pick up all the bobmonium that we did mine there, temporarily. Even if the blueprint's not right, let's save it. Rename it. This is going to be mining dual column Mark IIIs. And the goal is we should just be able to find the center point, click, 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 done. And since it's got the electrical poles on the edges, it should hopefully connect with any other logistics stuff. And I think most deposits are going to be about that size, so we should probably take this whole thing. Unfortunately, because you can't place these things unless there's mining resources below it, because this field's not big enough, I can't, like, make the template bigger. So I guess we'll just go with the template size that currently fits. I'm not going to make it bigger. Well, actually, I can double it. I could do this. That'll do. We'll update the mining dual column Mark III. But let's call this, I want a naming convention that makes sense to me. So I've got radar outpost. We're just going to call this outpost. Anything that's going to be outside the factory is going to be outpost. Mining dual column probably is not important. We'll just call it outpost mining Mark III. And then radar outpost we will rename to just outpost radar Mark III. Large size solar, furnace, crush cascade, decumulator 8 solar, wall laser. Train, I think, is a good header for that. Unfortunately, now I am within the network. There's got to be a button. I'm gonna ask before I forget. I'm gonna go ask Nexla. See if there's just a button that I'm not aware of. I could have sworn I looked through all of the controls and I just didn't find anything in here about it. But it sure would be convenient if they would just go ahead and do it. Okay, now that we've got all those done, I should be able to just go right down the center. And can I make any more of these things? Mark 3s. I can't make the Mark 4s yet. Let's see. Mining. I want mining drills research. That takes production science packs. I do want that. I want to do my best to get this outpost set up and running. Eventually, now that this whole thing is part of the network, I imagine that the robots will bring out mining drills if I get those automated. So once that's done then, we need to create our actual outpost blueprint. So we've got outpost mining, outpost radar, we need outpost station. So let's take this one as our template. We're going to feed resources into a machine. It needs to include the train stop. Let's grab this whole thing and just see what we want. So we want these guys, which are going to automatically be configured to be squirrely, which is great. The corner piece I don't necessarily need, but I do kind of want that signal. Do I want it to turn off right away? I guess so. We're probably, well, it's not always going to turn off to the left. Let's not take that part for now. I always want this. I always want these. The logistics storage warehouse. Yes, I do want that because I want it to store a huge amount. Actually, hold on. If I'm going to put the logistic network everywhere, this really cannot be a logistic storage warehouse because robots will try to use this for storage, which would be stupid. That doesn't need to be there. So that means that I have a problem, and that is that this is now a logistic storage warehouse that's part of the logistic grid that could get used for storage if there's nowhere else to put stuff. But if I go down to a passive provider, I have much less storage capacity. So I can't just, if I do this right now, it'll explode everywhere because there's 400,000 stuff in there. So, let's do this. We're going to passive provider these. We're going to cut these lines for a moment. I'm going to dump everything that I've got into here. And I'm going to manually shift all this crap over. until this thing is below 160. Okay, it's below 160. Let's grab the warehouse. Replace it. Okay, now that's all just ore. We need to feed this stuff back into that machine. Doesn't have to be fast. But I want to take that before we take new stuff. So for now, let's wire this up. Okay, I actually don't want that wire connection. You two are only allowed to operate if those are empty. So if anything is equal to 0. Right now you're receiving a signal of 246,000 something, which is more than anything. So once these are empty, turn this back on. Until then, let's just continue to load this up, take care of that supply. That really shouldn't be there anymore. Let's take our blueprint again, now that it's got the right warehouse. We'll go this whole area. I obviously don't need these, don't need the wires, don't need any of this stuff. Let's go back into the edit mode. There should be a button up here that's, like, save changes and update. Because what I just did, think about it. Okay, so let's say I don't want this rail, right? If I keep this screen open, I can left click to turn it back on. But what if I want to like zoom in? I can't zoom in, right? Because that doesn't work. But if I want to update it, I've got to click save, right click to reopen, and now it's, see how that part's gone? It's zoomed in again. There should just be a button to like update the current blueprint interface without having to mess with it. Let's pause auto trash. And not make the robots come take this from me. I feel like I accidentally put... I did, there they are. Alright, unpause auto trash. So yeah, that would be convenient though. I have to retake it because I actually do want some of that rail. Okay, well amazingly it's already been a half hour. Can you believe it? I'm gonna go a little bit long. I'm gonna go an extra 10 minutes because I've got to record with Filthy Robot in a few minutes and there's no point. I can't do a 30-minute episode, or I can't do another 30-minute episode, so might as well go 40, right? But let's save this thing. This is gonna be regular storage warehouse. We don't need this. The actual I mean, it looks good. It looks good. We'll save it. Let's add it to our list of things. We're going to call this the... it's related to trains. It's related to outposts. It's more related to trains than it is to outposts. So train, outpost, pop-oust? Yeah, outpost, train outpost. I mean, that's literally what it is. Is it an outpost or is it a... I think an outpost is like the most apt description of what a train outpost is supposed to do. And yes, they did eventually bring those up. Do we care about having excess belt above and below it? Not really. I think it's a minor issue. So, let's create our train outpost, which, it would be nice if this thing had its own little branch off from the thing. I think I will put one down here. In fact, we could encompass the whole thing to make it a bigger outpost. Right? Loop and all. Like we could just grab this whole thing. And then we could say, we don't need the mining drills. We don't need the laser. We don't need any of this. I did need that. Okay, I don't need those. Let's update this. That all looks pretty good. We missed some signals over there. Darn it. Don't necessarily need that. Do want the signals. Don't need that. Shoot. Do we do it all over again then, or do we what? Yeah, we do it all over again, darn it. Okay, let's grab the whole damn thing, including the signals below and above. Get rid of these. Get rid of all of this. Okay, so we've got our signals, input, output, the whole thing. Don't need that. That, I think, is the proper outpost. Train outpost. Update. If I wanted to, I could make this whole thing further away, but I think in this case it's probably just going to be easier for me to just plop it down like... And I don't like how close those signals are. Put it way down here. And then I guess we'll bring these resources all the way down to that chest. Now that is a lot of things. Do we need to have 6 separate resource lines for this? And I think the answer is yes. We're going to grab that and let's carry these all the way down. I think we'll just come in horizontally on this station. So damn hard to keep the mouse straight. I don't know that I have enough red belt to actually get this thing functional. We should try to hook up some of them. So this is now going to be... sorry, Andrew A.J. Shaw. You are now renamed to Outpost Bobmonium, was it? Yeah. Renamed to Outpost Bobmonium 1. And this one should actually follow that same naming convention with the dash. So Outpost-Sapphirite 1. Stuff is getting killed. It's just a light, probably due to the placement of my lights being too close to the peripheral with explosive biters, because they're bastards. Let's get as many of these things made as I can. We got 5 minutes left. Let's get some of this Bobmonium hooked up. As much of it as I am allowed. Let's turn off the auto-construct so that they don't steal my stuff as I'm making it. That's one of the lines. If I can get just like one of the lines hooked up on each, then they are at least functional. And then the robots, I think we're within the construction grid. Yeah, the whole thing's within construction, so eventually they'll fill it in. That's 2. Shoot. Wrong button. Alright, so that's 3 of them hooked up. We decided against putting a threshold on there. So this can be a new train. I've already got the cargo wagon. Of course, I probably don't have the parts necessary to make the locomotive Mark II, because I don't have any engine units. Can I make engine units, just on the spot? Not quite. I think I'm really low on iron. Darn. Well, that's quite alright. I should be able to do it eventually. And then we just send a train up there, because we know that that depot's ready. We need to create a better receiving area for unloading. Obviously, I didn't even really need to go that far. I practically could have belted this stuff over. If we're only running 1 red belt worth of this stuff over, then this whole thing is a bit superfluous. I don't really want to carry all this sapphire myself, but robots should take care of getting rid of most of it out of my inventory. I think a single red belt coming in right now is good. That's what the processing area can handle, is 1 red belt of input anyway, so that seems fine. Okay, walls, sorting facilities. Can I get some engines, maybe? And I've got to work on getting actual processing up and running again. We've got some... Basically, I think I left one of them operational. I brought the sapphirite, crushed sapphirite over, mixed it with the jovolite. We're still crushing the jovolite here, rather than bringing the jovolite over there, because I didn't want to run both of them, although that would make more sense, for continuity's sake. This should be jovolite. Crushed jovolite should be less than 2,000. Yeah, I just want to centralize. I want to start making stuff look more neat and proper and prim and planned. Kind of a long belt. Damn. Okay, well that's unfortunate. Damn. Damn. Okay, let's repurpose the bottom one for the sapphirite. And by bottom, I mean rightmost. Actually, I can do it like that. That's sapphirite. That's going to be jovolite. Let's run all that sapphirite back in. So, gotta reverse these settings, because now the sapphirite's gonna come in on the top one. So it should actually be, for now, it should be that one. And let's just remove that restriction for the moment. Don't enable or disable, just fill that up. I want to clear that belt. And then once the belt's empty, we'll turn that into a jovolite feed. I can relocate the jovolite crushing, the infinite jovolite deposit. It's not going to be brought in via train, but we'll just route that up to the centralized crushing area. In fact, I could get started on that now if I wanted to. I could, I don't get the impression that this even needs to be red belt. It's not a lot of resources coming in right now. Okay, let's start routing the Javolite north. I'm going over time. It's already 10 o'clock. I need to go play with filthy robots. Time! It's that time. I'm gonna go play some EU4. It's gonna be glorious. Okay, so the Javolite's coming up. We already set up the Javolite crushing filters. Last thing I want to do then is change this over to enable disable. Copy the settings from here. And set it to crushed Javolite. So we've got 2000, 2000, good, good. We've got the feeds. We're using centralized crushing, which means that as soon as the raw Javolite supply here is gone, I can shut these down, and we've got centralized processing of all. Let's just make sure that this thing is working. And are we overloading this belt? It looks perfectly saturated, which means that yes, well, no, actually it's not perfectly saturated. So we're good with yellow belt. There's little bits and bobs there that are not full. Well, let's just wait 2 more minutes. Filthy can wait a minute, can't he? We should see the Javolite ore come out of that machine line there, start crushing, and we should be good to go on that. And get it all back to where it needs to be. And then I gotta work on this thing, gotta keep working on the train stations, gotta get the Cruntinium mining going properly. There is that yellow belt into a half red belt, makes perfect sense. That should support about 1.5 of those machines, because it takes a red belt to support all 3. Okay, very soon we should see a little bit of Javolite coming out, if everything's working. Let's just assume that it is, and I'll be back in the next episode. So as always, thank you for watching. Hope you're enjoying the campaign. I'll see you again in a bit. See you soon.